Hey guys, let me show you how I make short form content for Instagram and TikTok. Nothing fancy, I just want to show you my full process. I just want to kind of like document my full process for creating reels from idea to final output. I'll go through the filming, I'll go through the editing and just kind of show you guys how it all happens. I'm doing this because if you've watched my last video, although at the time of filming this, I haven't uploaded it yet. I filmed it since last week, but I haven't kind of like edited it. And the funny thing is, I'm not really doing any fancy editing. I'm just making it a very simple, because the whole point of the video is kind of to show that you just need to post, you just need to kind of like create content and not worry too much about many other things. But for some reason I want to put out the video. But anyways, if you've watched it, because by the time this will come out, that would already be out. Yeah, that will already be out. I the point is, I'm trying to create more content, so I've been making short form content on Instagram, not yet on TikTok, but really for me it's just going to be a matter of repurposing it. But at the moment I've been doing just Instagram. I want to get like a backlog of about 10 videos. At this point I've done a few. I think I'll just make a different video talking about the strategy that I'm working on for Instagram. But basically this is what I do for when I'm creating content for myself, which I've not been doing for a long time now, and also for clients. But when it comes to clients, it's just the editing aspects that I think would show what I do for them, because I don't film for them. They film it, send it over, and then I just edit it. So when it comes to making like the ideas can get ideas from anywhere. ChatGPT has been a big help, but I think for me mostly, other than ChatGPT, I also just jot things down. I have like a notebook here. I have my pen, so anytime I have anything, I just write it in here. And I also have a Notion doc, which I type things down. I also have things written down on Google Keep. I have ideas scattered everywhere depending on when it comes. Like if I have an idea when I'm using my PC, it's easier for me to just put up on Notion. Now I have Notion on my phone, but I find that it's easier for me to just type in Google Notes, in Google Keep rather. But mostly I write it down, and then later I feed what I want to do into ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT to kind of like refine it. And ChatGPT also comes up with good ideas. So any AI tool, it could be ChatGPT for you, it could be Gemini, Copilot, which I don't use, but whatever it is, just write them down and you can later refine them when it's time to, when you plan on working on them. For cases where I'm not going to be showing my face on camera, then I source footage online. If I'm going to be using movie clips, if I'm going to be using maybe stock footage, there are free sites for that, Pixabay, Pexels, and the likes, which is what I mainly use, Pixabay and Pexels. I don't know why I mentioned and the likes, because if I'm going to be using stock footage, I usually use Pixabay and Pexels, in addition to getting clips from movies that I find online or anime or whatever it is. But when it comes to filming, it's actually a very simple process for me. I use my phone if I want to get it out quick and fast. I think the first video I made, I made it with my phone. Like I said, I'm going to make a different video showing like the Instagram page. I just want to get more content on there first, and then I'm going to show like the strategy I'm using, and then kind of like analytics and all of that. But for now, I just want to talk about the process of making the videos. Okay, so I film with either my phone or my camera. There's nothing fancy, it's just to film and talk. I'm going to kind of like show the process of me filming, because I'm about to film a particular reel now. So One thing I need to mention when it comes to filming is that whether I'm using my phone or my camera to record, for audio, since I use a lapel mic, this clip-on mic, it's usually connected to my phone. So my phone is kind of like what I'm using as my audio recorder. And then I sync the video and audio in post. So I just wanted to add that. For this YouTube video now, I'm going to edit it in DaVinci, but I have CapCut Pro and the free version of DaVinci. So I record my long videos and like major videos in DaVinci, and then when it comes to short form, it's easier to do it in CapCut, so I use CapCut. My CapCut opens in 1080p and 30 frames per second, but my camera settings is actually shot in 24 frames per second, so I have to change that first. I think there's a way to set this thing beforehand, but most videos I edit are usually in 30 frames. That's why it's set at 30, but I'm just going to fix that. So I'll click on modify and let me rename it first. 6 consistency 2, and then I'll switch this to 24 frames per second and turn on proxy just to make it faster. I just have to wait for that to be done before I continue, but this is the first step. I should have done this beforehand, like I should have done this proxy thing before, so that I just get straight to editing. But the funny thing is, this is like a major part of editing, because even when I'm using DaVinci Resolve, I still have to generate proxies just so that I can run faster. It's not like my PC is not a high-end, supercomputer or whatever. It has moderate specs, but it struggles when it's playing back some files. So especially when there are a lot, and by the time I start adding transitions and stuff like that, it just so I always have to generate proxy and just to make things faster when I'm editing. But this is taking a lot of time. One more time, you gotta celebrate music, gotta sing one more time. One thing I should say now is I'm using CapCut's record feature. They have a feature where you can record your screen, and that's what I'm using to show you all of this. I think it's cool. I put off paying for CapCut for like the longest time. I refused, I was like, I'll keep on using the free version. But then at some point, it turned out that I was using CapCut a lot, especially for some client work, and it's just made more sense. It saved me time and just so much stress trying to do things with maybe other software that were locked behind their paywall, and I just had to pay for it, and it's been cool. I've been enjoying all the features that comes with CapCut Pro. Like this screen recording, for instance. This is the first time I'm really testing it out because, like I said, I haven't really been creating much content for myself, so I haven't been doing tutorials, I haven't been doing any of that. What I normally use was OBS Studio. So that was my go-to screen recorder. And then I also have Loom. But Loom is, you know, Loom also has restrictions, except you pay for their full version, which I wasn't going to do because I don't really use Loom a lot. So OBS was really my go-to, you know, for anything screen recording and stuff like that. And okay, it's done. So let's edit this video. The first thing I do is to, you know what, I'm just going to drag all the files into the timeline because I, you know, turned my camera down into like vertical format to film. That's why it comes out like this. So usually the first thing is to switch it to a 9:16 ratio, and then under basic rotate, I change that to 270. Yep. We're so slow. It's not slow actually, it's okay. I'm just tired of waiting. That's my problem with editing at times. You know, you wait to download your files, you wait to generate proxy, you wait to enhance audio, you wait to render, you wait to there's a lot of waiting involved, you know. You can't do a video editor without having a little bit of patience. You would go crazy. Or maybe all video editors are crazy. I hope this does not turn out to be a very long video because that would be weird. I plan for this video to be about maybe 15 minutes, 4 minutes for like the intro and the filming segments, and then maybe like 8 minutes for the editing parts, and then we have how many left? 8 plus 4, 12, 3 left for kind of like posting the reel and, you know, concluding the video, wrapping up. But at this point, I honestly don't know what to expect. The expectations are off the table. Like, I do not expect anything again from now on. If you end up getting a 45 minutes video, please take it. Because I don't know how long this is going to take. So it's done exporting. I've watched it. I don't like the beginning a bit, so I know I said I wasn't going to change anything, but I'm going to actually change something. I'm going to add a transition at the beginning. Consistency is different for everybody. I think it's not really about making more content. It's more about making better content at a pace you can stick to. And that's what I'm trying to do. Some weeks, I feel like I could create content every day. I have the energy to do that. But then other weeks, life does its thing and I'm not able to do any of that. But what I've been doing lately is, first of all, getting my ideas out. Whenever it is I get an idea, I write it down. If I'm using my computer, then I open Notion and jot it down there. Other than that, I have a notebook and a pen, which is with me almost every time, so I can easily write things down. The second thing that helps, and this is the most important thing, is to let go of the pressure. I don't care about putting so many effects. I don't care about going crazy in the edits. The important thing for me is to pass the message I want to pass. And now that might be different depending on the type of content you're making. You might not be able to post every day, but you might be able to post maybe twice or 3 times in a week. And if that's consistency for you, that's fine. The key is just not to disappear. So whatever schedule works for you, whatever pace works for you, keep at it. And the next step now is to send it to my phone and post it on Instagram. There's no overthinking anything. The caption is just me writing some of the things, like the general idea of what I talked about in the reel, and the cover picture is just me selecting a frame, a still from what Instagram suggests, and that will be it. That's it. I'm just glad it's out at this point. I'm glad it's out there. This has taken my whole day. Now, normally making this content, short form content, doesn't really take me doesn't really take the whole day. I get this done in about 2-3 hours, and I usually do this in the afternoon. The filming, the editing, I do it at once and it's done. 2-3 hours max. But I guess because I was trying to show the whole process, it took longer, and kind of explaining how things went. But it doesn't really take a lot of time, so I don't know how long this final video would be, but it's just to show you how I edit my reels, how I make my reels, my short form content. Find a system that works for you. You can steal any part of my process if it's interest to you, and if you have suggestions for kind of making it better, please let me know. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe, leave a comment. See you. Bye.